Scott Brown here. In this exciting episode, well, there's a couple of things we're going to be looking at. Namely, architects. We meet the other architect, the second half of Fine Line Architecture. We have concept plans, plans for this renovation. And maybe I'll get my cabinet here in the office. This is like 1 hour from our house. Hey kitty.
Can I ask why?
You know, before we moved down here, Jess and I, to Nelson to buy this house, I was reading about houses in general and development and architecture and all that kind of stuff. And I read this article in Stuff, I think it was. I'll put the link below. And it was about how when people do land developments and they do multiple houses, it's important to consider not just how big the house is and how many bedrooms you can squeeze in, but what is the quality of living in there? You know, how much light is the house getting? How does it warm up? How does it cool down? What are the shared spaces around the house going to be like? If you're doing a big development, what is the nearby park that all the residents can use? Quality of life should come into the design of houses. Anyway, I got to the end of that article and I saw it said Nelson-based architect, and I was like, hey, Jess and I are looking for a house in Nelson. Maybe we should reach out to them when we get down there. We could end up doing some cool projects. Anyway, I forgot about that. Jess and I were busy, you know, moving house and moving our entire life from one city to another. And when we moved to Nelson, we actually got a lot of emails from people saying, hey, I live in this area, welcome to the area, I'd love to have a beer with you. And it was overwhelming, to be honest, but it was so nice. And we reached out to a few people, couldn't reach out to everyone, but one of the people that we did reach out to has been a subscriber for a long time. And he said, my wife might be able to help you with architecture. And his name's Raymond. He was in the last episode. And his wife is the co-director of Fine Line Architecture. And she is also the person who wrote that article that I read back in November. It's funny how small the world is sometimes. So needless to say, we got in touch with them. And Matt, her co-director, and Magdalena are now our architects. So Jess, the architects are coming this morning.
They are.
What do you think about the design of our potential renovation?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, what are your expectations?
I'm excited. Is that a root? No, it's the stake. Oh, whoops.
I guess your mind's on other things.
Isn't this plant cool? My neighbour gifted it to me. I have no idea what it is though.
What's what the comment section's for?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people knew what the other plants were in that other video. Maybe people know what this is. Isn't it beautiful?
Kia ora.
Hi, hello.
Hi Magda, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you guys.
So I'm very happy to have Magda and Matt on board, and they've prepared 3 different roads, I guess you could say, for the renovation to take. And for each road, they have 2 different plans that are pretty much the same, except minor differences. And that's what we're about to look at here. And I just want to say before we do that this is all very new to me. Even though I've been renovating houses for years, I've been building for 18 years, having to make these decisions around design and where do we want a door, where do we want a window, do we want this layout, do we want that, I'm taking it in at the same time as you. But I'll be curious to see what you think of these 3 designs.
So that's just your existing layout, and we'll put it on top for reference. So normally, we don't really, show 5 or, different options.
Yeah.
But because we are really early in the process and because we wanted to be a bit more collaborative with you guys, we thought we'd just come up with a few. And all of those options work, but they really depend on how you want to live and how you want to use the space. We kind of started with this idea of the galley kitchen. So in this example, you have you keep the same entry in the front or back, or however you call it. I think front for now, and the same entry at the back, and then you have just a kind of a line kitchen. One thing that you said when we came here the first time was that you quite like this circular thing that's happening, and so in this example we're actually keeping the loop. So we would remove some of that cabinetry that's here and only keep you know, kind of the fire area and make a, you know, really cool central feature out of it, which means that you have more space to have a proper galley kitchen with, you know, enough space on both sides. The next one just removes completely the fire. So removes completely that central area. Your kitchen dining becomes really the heart, the center of the whole house. You could have some sort of screen that, you know, when you are having your coffee and someone comes, they don't need to see you directly. And then a big open space. And what we quite like about this one is that, you know, you create that little study nook. So the office can become a third bedroom.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm struggling.
Quite a radical
It's
shift
quite
for you.
radical. I'm trying to. I need time to get my head around that.
Yep. We are increasing the, let's say, the complexity, and we're completely changing things. So we're keeping the central, you know, fire or no fire, depending on what it's going to be. But what we're moving is your bedroom into here, into that corner. And what this allows us to do is to create this really nice open space here and a little snug for the TV. You know, you actually have 4 bedrooms without losing much space.
What I like about this version is kind of how it responds to the sun, because in the late afternoon, you actually, this bedroom or where this bedroom here is actually going to get a lot of that late afternoon sun coming in on this side, and so you're sort of allowing that part of the living space to sort of move more towards the sun. So normally we'd be kind of, you know, focusing our, this is sort of our sun arc, and so to get your living all into there is pretty cool.
This goes on the side here, just to make it more decorative on the end when the bench is done. And now I've got a top to cut as well, and I've got to make legs. That's going to be a little bit tricky. Speaking of tricky, 3 plans to choose from. I think I know which plan I'm leaning toward. I'm curious about what you guys think of the 3 different options. One thing I couldn't help doing when I started reading those plans there was I just started building it in my head. You know, as soon as I look at the layout, I'm like, okay, we need a beam there. Oh, we'll need like bracing elements on that corner. Oh, how am I going to get the scaffold in there? Will I be able to get a higher? You know, I start solving all the problems automatically, because that's what I've been doing for years. I usually get the plans when the building consent has been issued and the job's kind of ready to go. The clients have worked out all these things that I'm working out now, and I'm just like, I've just got to solve the problems, right? But all these things aren't things that need to be sorted out yet. These are just the concept plans.
These drawings are in the conceptual stage, so they're not trying to show specifics, and so all we're sort of talking about is these kind of big picture ideas, and try and get your head into like the possibilities, and what we're hoping is that you'll be like, oh, I really like that from this bit, and I like this from this, and then we can, like, you know, like, so it's more about ideas than the physical at the moment.
Learn my lesson. I feel like we're in safe hands with these guys. I like them a lot, and I like the plans. And I'm leaning towards the last plan, the snug, as it's called. It has the obvious benefit of essentially adding another room, or at least maintaining the amount of rooms if you include that problem room, which is really just an office. And I actually like where the kitchen is. I like the new location of the kitchen. And there's also a chance to do more built-in seating, which is great for me, more projects. And the snug room, the sort of living room, that could be a bedroom as well. We can make like a ceiling height door that's open most of the time. And then if someone's coming to stay with us or something, we can roll it shut so they got their privacy. Now this is a way of getting rid of the cut edge. It's just a stick-on sort of plastic. And when you heat it up with the iron, the glue melts and adheres.
More than we know.
Yeah, so my initial instinct was when we first looked at these plans was this one here because it was quite similar to what we already have. But the more that I think about it, I'm really leaning towards this one with the snug. That really appeals to me. And then in summer when we have all of our friends, in summer when we have people over, the idea of this being really bright and airy and open and a really social space.
Yeah.
I like that, and very collaborative as well, because when we have had friends over, everyone's cooked a meal and everyone's helped, and so for us the kitchen is a really fun social collaborative area, and also a work area. We like to incorporate it into a big open.
I'm no furniture maker, I am definitely a builder. So I've just come up with this idea. I bought these legs from Bunnings or something, and I've cut plywood strips there, and this is going to be the base that holds the cabinet. So we got it on this angle here, so it's got an angle on no matter which way you look at it. So that's my plan. A leg on a funny angle like that. What do you got there?
Food scraps from my worms. It's disgusting, don't look too close.
How is your worm farm going?
Well, they're not dead.
Well, that's a good sign.
No, it's actually going really well. They're making heaps of castings. Good for the future vegetable garden. This looks mint, Scott. I'm really impressed.
Thanks.
Oh, they're not push doors, okay.
I need some handles.
Nice.
Those are the legs, and I'll put these little blocks on, and that's where the screw will go into the cabinet.
Someone commented in the last video that it's cool you're reusing materials. I couldn't agree more. That was a pretty ugly cabinet, and now you've turned it into a nice, something nice.
I won't win any design awards, but it's alright.
He's very clever.
Actually, Jess, I just needed a hand with this. We're just going to lift it up.
Oh, that's heavy.
It is. Wait until I put the top on it. Alright.
Where am I putting this?
You're getting up on there. Okay, maybe I should have put the cabinet on the ground. That wasn't very clever. But you know what was clever? Building our website with Squarespace. Alright, maybe I should leave the segues to Jess. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. You can stand out with a beautiful website and grow your audience, grow your client base, and sell anything with their e-commerce tools. Squarespace have really easy systems in place, so you can just focus on selling whatever you sell, whether it's a product or a service. Squarespace also have a new video studio app, and it's built into the platform, so you can create pro-level videos, and it's really easy. Videos are one of the best ways that you can tell your story and appeal to your clients. One thing I appreciate about Squarespace is the portfolios and galleries. It's a great way to make your business look professional online. But do not take my word for it. Squarespace also offer a free trial, so you have nothing to lose. And then, once you're ready to launch your website, head to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace. Okay, I should really get Jess to help me here. What could possibly go wrong? It didn't break. Well, there you go. It's a little bit lighter out here. So you open the doors like that. I think I need to get some handles. Put your printer on there. And then like you can lift the scanner thing at the top up. I think that needs a bit of a clean. And then I've just reused that shelf that was in our dining room, so the holes line up with one another. I can put shelves at different heights depending on what we store in there. So that's mostly reused material. These end ones are just a piece of melamine that we bought, and that top is just a cheap oak veneer kind of thing that we bought. So yeah, that will sit nicely in the office behind my desk. There you go. Needs a little bit of a paint job, but not bad for some second-hand stuff. What do you think of the plans? I'm real curious to see in the comments below what you guys think of our site plans, concept plans. The next stage is to pick a plan, go into more detail, and then apply for building consent. In the meantime, I am looking at other work. I get that question a lot. But our main focus is here. That was the plan all along. Focus on getting this ready to renovate, and then start renovating. But I'll talk more about that in the future. Thanks for watching this exciting episode, and see you in the next one.